Alright, what's up guys? Op Soldier here today, and I wanted to kind of piggyback off of my last video about nerfs and buffing characters in fighting games. So, last video I kind of talked about how one of the main things that I'm always kind of looking out for is when people say that they want that something needs a nerf or something needs a buff, like what? Less than a week, less than a few, even a month into the game. I personally don't think that's a healthy way to approach fighting games, especially considering we haven't found any tech yet. And I figured I would kind of share just some thoughts of things that have happened before that have really defined a character throughout the fighting game, at least when it comes to the NRS community, because, I've had most of my experiences in NRS games. So a really common one is Scarlet. Scarlet was nerfed heavily after that stress test that we had. Scarlet was she was really good, really decent. She had really plus restands and everything. I don't know if I can find any information for this, but I remember. And then when she came out, she had a bunch of gaps and everything. And this is a perfect example of what I mean. You can't have a fighting game be out for only a certain amount of time and then say that this particular mechanic or this design of the character is broken, because the thing is, a knee-jerk response from a developer could be they nerf, that particular thing, and then all of a sudden the character's not powerful anymore, or the character doesn't have their dirt. The reason why this kind of gets to me personally as a fighting game player is, I've heard all throughout fighting games, I've heard every reason to why people want things removed from games. And usually it's zoning, right? Usually it's something that keeps them out and they can't really deal with it, or it might be pressure, but maybe the pressure is so almost guaranteed that people don't want to deal with it, like Jackie's leap, right? And I know Striker has dive kick, I know she has the slide, but still she has to, against a lot of the cast that has a lot of zoning, she has to really struggle to get in, right? And this is kind of something that's just kind of brushed off. A lot of people will say that this character, in a game full of frame traps, right? People frame trapping you with projectiles, they'll say, well, eventually Striker gets in. But the thing is, you get frame trapped with projectiles, so I don't know what you mean by that. And by definition, if you're getting frame trapped by something from full screen, you might end up staying there. This type of zoning, I've noticed, is not necessarily pushback zoning. Some of it is, but not all of it. It's usually mostly zoning that you get frame trapped. You're getting frame trapped, and then you have to make another guess in neutral if they use more MS, more magic skill. So the reason why I'm saying all this is because I feel already in my brain, and as I play players, I'm seeing counterplay to dealing with Striker, right? And I don't know what we can say about this. All I can say is that this is 100% why we see the same top 8 players in NRS games, right? At least when it comes to NRS games. I don't know about anime games. I don't know about... I do see that more consistently in Street Fighter too. It seems like the same top 8 players are in Street Fighter. This is 100% why. Why am I saying that this is 100% why? Because those are the players that if Striker gets nerfed, if a character in DNF Duel gets nerfed, they will adapt, right? They will adapt, they will play a different character, they'll learn how to play the matchup better, whatever. The majority of players that are asking for nerfs, they will never, ever get anywhere as fighting game players. And the reason why that is because they're asking for nerfs. I'm so surprised that people, sometimes people don't understand this fundamentally. If you don't want to adapt to something in a fighting game where fighting game is all about adaptation, what's going to happen is when you ask for that thing to get changed, you're not going to naturally just get better. Now, you might get better temporarily, right? But against a really skilled player that knows how to play around mechanics no matter what, you will always lose, because your first decision is to always ask the developers to nerf the problem. It's not to actually figure out how to counter the problem, or to wait a few amount of weeks to see if maybe there is a counter that you can take from someone else to utilize into your game plan. And obviously, like, I get this all the time, like, well, you can't take ideas. Well, you kind of can. In fighting games, it's kind of okay. Like, as long as you acknowledge that this person taught you how to do this, for the most part, like, all knowledge is just like, if it's open, or if you see it, you can pretty much use it. So the point that I'm trying to make here, and I want to stress this before I end the video, you can't just ask for nerfs and expect to be a better player. It doesn't work like that. The way that you get better as a fighting game player is you play the game you've been given and you figure out how to play within that game. When you ask for nerfs constantly, the only thing that's going to happen to you is that, well, the only thing that's going to happen is the game is going to get worse over time, because clearly the devs might have a design of the game in mind, aka Scarlet. The game got worse over time because Scarlet became worse, Scorpion became worse because they made his teleporter high. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, the game just gets worse over time. And then the thing is, like, the pro players, they either switch characters, and that's how they adapt, or they figure out ways around the nerf that you gave the character, right? And yes, for the first week or so, you will be a better player. But the thing is, the pro players or the high level players, sorry, there's not really any pro players right now, as Foxy likes to say. No one's actually making money. But the high level players, they will always beat you because they will always adapt. They will never have to ask the developers to change the game for them. And I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys. I just wanted to state that because, like, I already know the direction that the players want these games to go. And it's very obvious after seeing, like, cries for nerfs really early. Again, I can't stress this enough. Infinites, it makes sense to nerf those, to completely remove those. Infinites are clearly not supposed to be part of the game. I get that, totally understand that. But I am talking about all of these game plans that these characters have. Like, people are already asking for these things to be removed, and then that's just insane to me. And kind of last piggyback, I find it interesting that, like, people aren't complaining about zoning in this game. They're not complaining about zoning in this game, but then they're complaining about something else, which means that zoning was never the problem. It's just like they just don't like what's beating them. But anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about today. Have fun playing fighting games. And again, if this is you, I just want to stress, like, I'm not personally attacking you. I'm just stating my opinions from what I've seen throughout the fighting game community, because to me, like, it's very obvious some of the issues that we have as a community and why we don't grow and get bigger, and why we see the same players doing well, because everyone, like, I don't know what it is. Like, it's just people just don't want to get better. Like, they want to do everything in their power to have the developers do that for them, so I'm not attacking you. I'm not attacking anyone specifically. I am just saying that this is my experience with the FGC and the people that I have met through, whether it be Twitter, YouTube, whatever, Twitch. The high level players, from what I've seen so far, or who I've talked to on Twitch, they haven't said anything crazy about nerfs yet. So just saying. But anyway, have fun playing fighting games and have a good fight. Hey guys, I've been invited to the DNF Duel TikTok Invitational. This will be done on July 10th, 7 p.m. EST. This one's for a good cause, #DuelingCancer. This will be done on twitch.tv, Phil, of course. Please come check it out, where we'll help donate and stop cancer. Donation link is below in my link tree. See you guys there.